r/AskReddit. What's the most brutally honest thing a child has ever said to you? At the aquarium. Wow daddy, that fish is even uglier than you. Well son, let me tell you about this thing called genetics. And guess what son? Genetics have a higher transmission rate than inheritance does. 4-year-old nephew, setting the table for dinner, looks at me and announces, "You get the big fork, because you're the fattest." And then proceeds to set my place with the BBQ fork. Lol. Listen here you lil SHT. I'm big boned. Last Thursday, after I had a particularly stressful day at work, my 7-year-old said, "The only job that matters to me is being my dad, and you're awesome at it. And if mommy leaves you for another dad, I will always tell the new dad that my old dad was my favorite dad. Thanks. I love you. Where's your mom?" Wow. Way to set mom up for a rough evening. Your 7-year-old is either sweetly naive and innocently unaware of what he or she said, or a cold, calculating individual. Be careful around that one. Lol. She is the sweetest little kid you could ever want to share with a new dad. Seriously. She is an amazing kid, and her comments last Thursday were solid gold relief. Your glasses are weird. What do you look like without them? Takes them off. Ooh. Put them back on. Have we tried hair down glasses on? I just feel like there's still some light getting in from under the door. Was having a father-daughter moment with my then 6-year-old. She was worried about something, but was struggling to open up to me. Eventually she did. Me, you can always talk to me about anything. I'll always be there for you. Even when you're all grown up. She, if you're still alive. Kids are so matter of fact about mortality at that age. My 6-year-old daughter also saw fit to confirm, "You're going to die before me, aren't you daddy?" I hope so sweetie. I hope so. I've said the same. I hope so. Kid, daddy why don't you have boobs? Me, boys don't have boobs. Kid, why does Uncle John have boobs? Tell me Uncle John was standing there as well. Uncle John was standing there as well. Now what? My 5-year-old granddaughter knew the speed dial number on my daughter's phone. Without my daughter's knowledge, my granddaughter called me and left the following message. "Grandma, you are so very, 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 very pretty, but you're old and you might die." At the end of her message, I heard my daughter yell, "Who are you talking to?" Granddaughter quickly said, "I love you grandma. Bye." Click. I was 50 at the time. This one is my favorite. Kids are little psychopaths. Me, tell me a joke. My 4-year-old, "You're a joke." I had been reading a thread where everyone was sharing jokes they've been told by kids. And I was curious what my son would come up with. I expected something hilariously random. I got emotionally wrecked instead. Not going to lie, I was pretty impressed. My 3-year-old's version of a knock knock joke. Him, knock knock. Me, who's there? Him, cow. Me, cow who? Him, yes. I told my 3-year-old the interrupting cow knock knock joke. She now says, "Knock knock, who's there? Cow. Cow who?" Waits 10 seconds. Cue hysterical laugh. Your head looks like a shape. Cut me deep. Benjamin. You cut me deep. I can't believe you've done this. That meme will always have a place in my heart. A dead serious 3-year-old little kid who straight up asked me, "Why are you ugly?" No ill intent behind it. Wasn't being mean. The little guy just wanted to know. Should said because I didn't eat my vegetables. Turn him into a health freak. This would work with anything. I didn't listen to my parents. I was mean to my sibling. I didn't do my homework. I watched too much TV. Are you having a baby or just fat? I'm male. I'm having puppies, and you can't have one. Username checks out. When I was a kid, the Spice Girls were huge, and I was obsessed with them. Apparently on the radio they were talking about what an American Spice Girl would be called, and came up with Fat Ugly Spice or something like that. I have no recollection of this, but my mom tells me that I got so excited and started freaking out, saying something along the lines of, "Mom, oh my god, you could be a Spice Girl." She called her sister and cried for hours after that one. Edit. Sorry to be clear. It wasn't the Spice Girls saying this. It was an American morning show joking around. Can't have my childhood heroes taking the heat. Hoping my mom knew I was an idiot and didn't mean it. Holy hit, that's bad lol. Was waiting for my daughter to get her coat and boots on at daycare and another little girl walked up to me. She was probably about 6. She told me her parents got a divorce, so she was just like my daughter now. I nodded at her and then I got this gem. I get to go 1 week with my mommy and 1 week with my daddy. Today I go with my daddy. He has a new girlfriend and she's way more pretty than my mom. I wish my mom was as pretty as my daddy's girlfriend. I just cringed. I told this story before. I took my kids to dinner with an old friend of mine. My wife told me to enjoy my date. Jokingly. On the way out she knows her well too. Well, my kids, I believe they were 8 and 10 at the time, didn't get the humor. And didn't know that mom and dad had been fighting and talking about divorce a lot. Things have got better since. And so the whole time we are at dinner, they are telling my friend lies about my wife to make her look like a horrible, neglectful monster. And of all the problems I had with her, the only one related to childcare was she spoiled them too much. Sometimes we don't get to eat all day. The big brother actually told his little sister don't forget to save some of that food in a napkin. We don't know when mom will feed us again. And they were super nice and polite to my friend. And asked a lot of questions about her kid. I realized pretty soon that they thought I was looking to replace their mom and were helping out. Congrats. You're the favorite parent. Do you know why you're single? It's because of who you are and how you look. Well, duck you too. You 10-year-old piece of hit. Edit. 10-year-old piece of hit is my neighbor. 10-year-olds don't have that same level of innocence that 5-year-olds do. That's just hitty. I'm pretty sure he said that to me because I don't hang out with him whenever he decides he wants to play. I'm 24. Have a job and hobbies. The kid just wants to play with my vibe whenever he's bored. I was about 16. Young kid, maybe 6 or 7, in front of me in church, turns around, stares for 3 seconds, states, "You got a lot of pimples." Turns back around. He was not wrong. Was this about 10 years ago? Go find him. It will hurt more coming from an adult. Twisters. He's smooth faced and good looking. Op still has some pimples. And he says it again. A kid in a Cambodian orphanage came up to me and said simply, "Big boobs." I'm a man. You should have just said, "Orphan." At least my parents fed me. My daddy's hair is going away. Too. In my head, no. Shave it. Grow a beard. Smoke cigars. And wear radiators and Hawaiian shirts at all times. That's the cartel or comedian look. Wanna play? Sorry, I'm not feeling great today. Ugh. You're only sad because your girlfriend broke up with you. Thanks, kid. You really helped me figure that one out. Who needs girls anyways? They have cooties. Like you, no thanks. My nephew told me my breath smelled bad. I told him I was sure it did smell bad, since I hadn't eaten all day, but that he should avoid saying mean things even if they were true. A different nephew once asked my cousin, "Are you Jane? Or are you Anne?" She said, "I'm Jane. Anne is my sister." The nephew responds, "Oh, right. I remember. Anne is the one who's pretty." Duck. My condolences. Yeah. Duck your condolences. A couple weeks ago my fiance and I got into an argument and my 9-year-old stepdaughter told me, "You aren't the best boyfriend, but you are a really good dad." Simultaneously made me really proud and feel really hitty. I'd say that's a win. She basically gave you the manager's breakdown of here is where you could use improvement, but here is where you're a high performer. You gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. So while my wife and I were living in her parents' guest house, we'd see her niece and nephew visit a lot. One day, I got fired from my job, and for a while after, the kids would wonder why I was home during the day. My niece comes up to the guest house door. "Niece, hey uncle? How come you're not at work?" Me, "I already told you. I got fired." That means they let me go and don't want me to come back to work. Niece, oh. Nephew comes up. Nephew, hey uncle, why are you home all the time now? Niece, he did a bad job. So now they don't want him to go to work. Nephew, why? Is he stupid? Me. Both kids wander off without letting me explain further. Thanks kids. My self-esteem needed that. Edit. So I'm getting questions on why I was fired. I was working as a stoker at a big box store at the time. I was under a lot of stress at the time. From college and family and work and etc. Well, one day it all just kinda exploded. I had this super aggressive breakdown where I was throwing merchandise, breaking things. I took a tire iron, still either package, and tried to smash a few boxes in the back room. It was bad. I'm not proud of it. But sure enough, it got seen, and I was let go pretty quick. And the thing is, it all got set off because I couldn't find the right spot on the shelf for some item in the auto department. So when my nephew said, "Is he stupid?" that actually hurt. Because I felt really goddamn stupid for losing my temper so hard. Brutal. But hilarious. Not to me, but to a friend, who is a smoker. She was coughing a lot due to a cold, and being a smoker. Child was 3 at the time. He looks at her and says, "You are going to die." We all looked shocked, and I tell him that's not nice to say to people. My friend however replies, "Well then am I going to heaven or hell?" And he says, "Just go to a doctor. That kid is going places." To the doctor,